Right, about time for an update on the date palm seeds we planted. So these were, I say planted, I mean we're using the baggy method to try and germinate them. These are just the edible date palms you'd buy in any shop. I did notice after I'd done the video that these are quite old and they've been in the fridge a long time, and I say a long time, probably nearly a year. So the germination rate hasn't been brilliant, and there's still a chance that we still might get a few more germinate, but the seeds weren't looking that good, to be fair, when I done the original video. But we'll have a look. We've only actually got one germination on the seeds, so there we go. See that little white sprout there? I mean, that I'm sure they will go eventually. I mean, I don't know how well this is going to pick up on camera. You see that little light area, that's where it's going to come from. But yeah, so in fairness, I had these the first couple of weeks just on my satellite box, and then I did transfer them to a heat mat, and yeah, that seemed to have made all the difference on that. So yeah, quite a slow germination. That's well, coming up to 2 months on them, and in general I expect 2 to 3 weeks. So while I was doing that, I thought, well, I'll get some other seeds, because you know you get your setup going. You think, well, you might as well make it worth your while and do some others. So, and when I've done the initial video on the date palm seeds, saying that it's basically one of the easiest palm seeds to germinate, a lot of people did comment, and rightly so. Washingtonia, folifera, or robusta, they're real easy to germinate as well. So I thought, well, we'll get some seeds, some Washingtonia and some other seeds as well, and see what happens. So it's not just an update on the date palms, but also some of the other seeds. So I used a company here in the UK. I don't know if you can read the writing on that. It is World Wonders Gardens, and they do a lot of seeds, and they're quite reasonably priced. I've never really heard of them before. I just sort of looking for general sort of seed supplies for the UK, and they had a few different types. So we'll go quickly through what we had. Sabal Palmetto, Kiyosakis Render, which is the lipstick palm. We've got Licuala Spinosa, Sabal Minor. We've got some coffee seeds, so we're going to try and grow some coffee. Washingtonia folifera, 25 seeds. Triphanix radiata, which is the Florida thatch palm, and Roystonia, which is the Cuban royal palm. So they're the bunch of seeds I got. I think I paid about £20 in all for the seeds. That's including delivery, and we got a nice printout on each type of palm and the sort of care instructions, and germination, rough sort of guide how to germinate the seeds and whatnot. So that's quite good. Nice little printout with all the seeds there, all the information. But let's get to the seeds themselves. So they're just over the radiator here. We've got a heat mat near the window, and this is nothing special. It's just a standard sort of horticultural heat mat. Basically just keeps, that'll go 10 degrees above the ambient temperature, and we know that with heat and cost and whatnot, our house is normally around about 18-19 degrees, so it's possible that these seeds on the heat mat will get to sort of the high 20s, you know, maybe 28-29 degrees. But regardless of that, I've had a look through the bags, and we have got some germinations. So I got this latest batch of seeds 3 weeks ago, and I'll show you the most impressive. So I don't know how well this is going to show up, but you can see. So that's the Washingtonia foliifera, so that's the 5th of the 2nd, so literally 2 weeks ago. And looks like we've got pretty much 100% germination, and they're already starting to sprout out already, so they're going to have to be potted up. So I don't want to leave them too long in a bag, especially when they've started to grow leaves already. That's not really a surprise, because Washingtonia are really easy to germinate, probably the easiest, to be fair, if you get fresh seed. So I always try out these sort of new or new to me companies anyway, to see what the how fresh the seeds are, and so I'm pleasantly surprised. So like I say, 2 weeks and good germination on them. So that's gonna, this afternoon I will be potting them up. So along with that, we went through all the seeds we had. I've only seen one other germination, and I'm just going through the seeds now. Right, so surprisingly, the second germination we got is on the sabal palmetto, and don't know how well you see it. No leaves obviously, but we've got quite a few decent sized roots already coming on that. So again, I've never had a sabal palmetto germinate so quick. So literally 2 weeks, and well, we can see, I think there's 10 seeds in that, and with at least 5 with decent roots on them already, what I can see. So we've got a couple of different types of palm to be potting up. I'm not going to put up the date palms yet. I'll leave them. I'll let the root get about 1.5 inches, 2 inches before I pot them up. So I'm not going to be doing anything with them just yet. But I'm going to stick these back on the heat mat for now. But yeah, you won't be disappointed if you get Washingtonia robusta or foliifera. They're both fairly easy to germinate. I mean, last time I done some Washingtonia was a few years back, and to be honest, within a week of soaking the seeds, they actually started germinating in the water as I was soaking them. So that's how easy they are, and we can see already 2 weeks, loads of green growth on that already. So they definitely need to be potted up. Right, so that leads me to how I'm going to pot them up. Let's just move these date palms out the way. So again, this was a company in the UK called World Wonders Gardens, and yeah, like I say, they've got a good selection of seeds, quite a few different types of palms and other interesting seeds as well. I think they range between sort of £2 and £4 for a pack of seeds, and depending on the species. And yeah, like I say, we've had a couple of germinate already, and yeah, so let's just have a look. This is the my propagation box. This is a DIY job, so it's literally just a plastic storage tub. It has got like a half and half lid folding, and I've literally just stuck some tin foil or aluminium foil on the top to reflect the light. We've got holes drilled in the top, obviously, to let a bit of airflow, and I do open it regularly as well. And yeah, there's a heat mat underneath here. You probably see the stripes of the heat mat underneath. So this is a real cheapy job. I think these tubs were like 2 for £12, and these are quite big ones. I don't know what the litrage on them is. They're probably 120 litres or something like that. So it's a fairly big one. So it's tall. I mean, main thing is you got a bit of height. We've got a cheap grow bulb in there, which is full. It's one of the pinky purple ones, which I'm not a fan of, but it is a decent grow light. Seem to do the job. So we've still got some. You see them. These what are the bird of paradise? The giant bird of paradise Strelitz and Nikolai. I've got some other seeds which I've just done today, which they're going to be hopefully germinating in the next couple of weeks. They're I'm going to go into them another video because they're something a little bit different. So the palm seeds themselves, I've got some root trainers. So I don't know if everyone's familiar with these. So I can pull this out without it all collapsing. So literally this cells. So I'll put one germinated seed in each one of these cells, and that obviously just opens up, clips together at the side. So they're not the deepest ones, but I think until we can get stuff outside, they'll be fine. So weren't really expecting, well, other than the Washingtonia robusta, I weren't expecting the sabals to germinate so quick. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we'll just put one germinated seed in each of these cells, and that should be enough heat from the heat mat underneath there. And we've got the grow light, and this is also sort of fairly close to a window and the back conservatory, so we get a bit of natural light, and also we've got the grow light there. And on warm days I will just pick up the box and put it in the conservatory to give it a bit extra heat. Yeah, so that's my little setup to get the palm seeds going, stroke other seeds. Like I say, nothing elaborate. The whole thing cost me, like I say, the tub was probably about between 6 and 8 quid, depending if you buy, you know, it's a multi-buy option, so it's like 2 for 12 quid or 8 quid each, something like that. Comes with the lid, obviously, tin foil, most people have got that. And I think the grow light was literally just like 5 quid, standard sort of bayonet fitting from Amazon. And I won't say it's a brilliant grow light, but it's enough light to get stuff, keep stuff happy in here. Yeah, so real cheap setup. Heat mat I already had, but I think you can get them for around 12 or 15 quid. And I've got some polystyrene underneath the heat mat, so we don't lose the heat on the floor. This sort of insulates it from underneath, so the heat is coming up straight into the box. And like I say, when the lid's shut, that do warm up with the bulb going as well, and plus keeps the humidity up, which you want. Keep the humidity up, especially when you've been just germinated a load of seeds which you've been in the baggy method. They'll be used to high humidity, so you don't want to shock them by putting them in a dry environment. What did I try, or what did I choose? Washingtonia Folifera. Well, I've already got loads of robustas. Folifera is more cold hardy, but it's not anywhere near as damp tolerant, so it's not really going to be an option to grow outside in the ground anyway. That'd make a good potted specimen, and maybe sort of somewhere sheltered where it's going to be dry over winter. So I've grown some filibusters, which are a cross between robusta and Folifera, and had good success with them, and still got a couple. I sold a lot of them, but yeah, so we've got some straight Folifera, so we'll go see how we go with them. So yeah, we'll now get them in their new growing environment, and like I say, within a couple of, hopefully the next, I don't know, 2 months, we'll get them outside in the greenhouse or polytunnel, and they should start growing away nicely. So we'll do some updates on them. So this initially was just an update on the date palms, but also now we've got some other seeds going. We'll keep you updated on any other seeds that I see germinate. Just as a reminder, I will say that just drop the seeds. I will say there's no special mix in here. I would normally use, if they're big seeds, I would go with cocoa coir, or maybe sphagnum moss. Big seeds, sphagnum moss, probably small seeds, cocoa coir, something like that. Something just a sort of generic, nothing. I don't really want compost or nothing, but these are actually in seed compost, just out of interest, and certainly hasn't hindered them. They've definitely grown all right in that. So yeah, like I say, no special instructions, just literally baggy method, damp compost, And yeah, within 2 weeks we've got leaves on some of these already. So yeah, just a quick one for you anyway. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.